If you are new to sewing or you've been sewing a long time, there's always something that you can learn to make your sewing experience a little easier. I'm Jan Howell. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, that's exactly what I do, is to make your DIY projects, sewing, crafting, less stressful and more enjoyable. And I may even save you a little money. In today's sewing tutorial, I'm going to show you some of my best sewing tips and hacks that I know. Sewing can be a lot of fun. It also can be a little frustrating if you struggle with some of the techniques of sewing or you're just learning how to do things. So I hope you find these 8 tips helpful, some things I wish I would have known when I began to sew. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. For all of you out there who use a rotary cutter and a rotary mat and ruler, this is a game changer. For so long, I would be cutting out pieces of fabric, especially long cuts. By the time I got to the edge, even if it's just a little bit, my ruler would slide. And I thought I was pressing down tight enough, and sure enough, goes off. But this hack, simple, and it works like a charm. All you need is a hand weight. This is a 5-pound weight. You could use something else probably. This is just handy. It's rubber, it's not gonna hurt any of my surfaces. Just place your weight on the end of the ruler, just out of the way there. Line up your lines. Hold the front of the ruler, of course. No slipping or sliding, keeps it in place. Now I have tried, as you can see even on this, these little sticky things, other things that you can buy to put on your ruler, but none of them really work for me. This is a game changer. This sewing tip I was so excited to learn about because when I was sewing on knits or lighter fabric or thicker pieces of fabric like fleece, when I started out sewing my seam and backstitch, a lot of the times the fabric would get sucked down into the machine and you pull it out and it can make holes in it. I just didn't get how people were sewing and getting a nice fresh start and a nice end of a seam. I have the perfect hack that will help you get a beautiful start and finish to your seam. Now see how that fabric kind of got sucked into the machine a little bit and wasn't moving forward very well? A trick to keep that from happening is to take a piece of scrap fleece, and when you start sewing your seam, place that scrap underneath, take a few stitches, and then take the piece that you're working on and just butt it up against the edge and start sewing. It helps that presser foot stay level and doesn't suck the fabric into the machine, which can be so frustrating when you're sewing on knits because it will usually make a hole in the fabric. These starter fabric pieces that I keep next to my sewing machine in my little pocket there, I'll sew on that first and then it'll smoothly sew onto the foam. And I'll do the same thing on the end. Then you can just clip those off. And there's a nice smooth start and a smooth end to your seam. Here are some tips for sewing over bulky seams that I think you're really going to like. Whenever I'm sewing with denim, canvas, or even fleece, or any bunch of layers that you're sewing on, it's really easy to get poor stitching and you have your machine really struggle going over those seams. I have learned several different ways and little gadgets that you can use or make to help you get over those bulky seams. Let's go over what causes you to get skip stitches when you're sewing over fabric. So you have your presser foot and you can see how it pivots and tilts. When it goes over the thick part, the foot will angle up. And then the feed dogs aren't able to push the fabric through, so your stitches are going to be skipped and they're going to be long. If we make the presser foot level somehow, then it will feed the fabric through and you're good to go. So all that you need to do is get that presser foot level by putting something underneath the back of the presser foot while it's sewing so it can sew over the thick fabric. When you get your sewing machine, most likely you have one of these little gadgets. It's called a hump jumper. Or you can make your own. See how that comes in 2 different thicknesses. You can make your own by just folding a piece of cereal box or cracker box a few times so that you have the thickness that you want, and you can decide how thick you want to use or how thick your fabric is. If you have a machine that has this leveling button right here, my machine is a Baby Lock Verve and it has that presser foot, I think it's a J foot, that has this leveling button on it, and I'll show you how to use that. This is a piece of denim jeans, and a lot of the times we want to hem them and sew on them, but let me show you, if you don't prop up the back of your presser foot, what can happen. See, I can tell right now that the machine's struggling a little bit going over that. We've got some stuff going on here. Let me see if you can see. Right here is where it's the presser foot started to angle up, and you have this big long stitch where these others are really tight. Now that can be problematic because that is not going to hold the fabric down very securely. And as you can see, when it comes off here, you've also got some longer stitches, and on the other side this is what it looks like. So you've got longer stitches here. Yeah, and that's pretty gappy. Look at that. Let me show you what it looks like if we used one of our little tools. I'm going to fold that over, and we're going to make that really obvious thickness. See how it'll handle it. Let me show you down here a little bit further what it will look like if we use one of our little tools. So what you'll do is sew up to this where it starts. See how that's starting to tilt up. I'm going to stop it, leave my needle down, lift up my presser foot, and I'm going to show you first with the hump jumper. Glide that underneath. See how it's propping up the back of that presser foot and bringing it level. And I'll continue to sew. Make sure you're putting the presser foot down. See how the stitches are pretty tight consistently. If you wanted to just use your emery board, you'll just lift up the back and slide it underneath and you're good to go. Now let me demo on this canvas and how to use this little button if you have it. I'm going to roll it up like I was making a rolled hem, and then I'm going to double it again. Bring the needle just in front of that thick part and leave the needle down. Lift up your presser foot, tilt the front of the presser foot down, and then take that little button and hold it while you bring the foot down, and see how that stays in. And then you'll just start, and it's leveled off my presser foot. You can just keep stitching and see how that pops open when it feels it tilting down. So look at that. Didn't miss a stitch. Nice tight stitches. Who would have thought that using painter's tape or masking tape could be used in your sewing projects? I use it a ton. It's great for marking your seam allowance on your sewing machine, and it's great to use on fabric when you need a straight line and you don't want to use a pen or chalk. I have a tip for top stitching. Top stitching is a stitch to make things look good and professional. But when you start top stitching, you'll get the threads bunching up and knotting up on top, and that doesn't look very professional or great on a finished product. So the tip for that, I share it in most of my videos, is to, when you're top stitching, adjust the lengths of the stitch from 2.5 to 3. That's helpful, and it's also helpful to grab those threads when you're starting and pull them back. That way you don't get that bunching up. Don't you just hate it when you're sewing and your sewing pedal just keeps sliding away from you into the next room? You have to keep pulling it back towards you. A simple hack is to take this shelf lining material that's kind of rubbery and grippy and cut a piece out, place it on the floor, put your pedal on there. It really does a great job of keeping it from sliding away. What about when you get a funky stitch? Your stitch starts being weird. You don't know why it's doing what it's doing. The easiest thing to do, and I find that a high percentage of the time, all you need to do is rethread your sewing machine. Seriously, just try that and see if it helps. If you're new to the machine, make sure you look at your instructions and check that out of how to thread your machine correctly, and check your bobbin. And if you want other tips on troubleshooting your stitches, I have a full video tutorial on that has a lot of helpful tips. You might want to check that out. For those of you who have a serger, this is a great tip that I wish I would have known when I started using a serger. So if you're starting a seam and you don't want a tail, and you know you're serging around and finishing an edge, but you don't want that obnoxious tail hanging out, so just start sewing. Take a few stitches and then lift up your presser foot and grab the tail that it left and pull it around to the front, and then put your presser foot back down and just kind of hold it out to the side as you sew, and it'll cut that off, and then it catches that in the stitching, so it's not going to come undone, and continue stitching. And then to not leave a tail at the end, stitch to the end, take your hand wheel, turn it towards you 1 or 2 times, make sure the needle is in the upright position, lift up your presser foot, gently pull it back a little bit and flip it over. And then bring the edge of the fabric right where the needle comes down and align with the side there, and start sewing again. Now to sew over where the knife just cut into that seam, we're just going to sew down down to that point and taper it off. If I were opening that up for a seam, I don't have that obnoxious tail there, and even if I was top stitching, that doesn't look too bad there. If you want to learn some other tips for sewing on a serger, I have a tutorial called Corners and Curves that you might want to check out. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found at least something that sparks your interest and that you'll give it a whirl and try. Let me know in the comments below if you have experiences or something that you can share, or a question you may have. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Click on the bell so you can be notified when I put new things up. And if you like my content that I put out, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and stay tuned for some fun upcoming tutorials. If you want to check out the patterns that I design and some other fun DIY projects, go to my website, youmakeitsimple.com. There are a lot of fun things on there that I think you may enjoy. Have a wonderful day, have fun sewing, and we'll see you in the next video.